Sri Chakra, it's not just a geometrical yantra, it is a spiritual map that shows the entire journey of human life. But many think Sri Chakra is symbol of wealth, it is for wish fulfillment. Yes, it does help you to achieve prosperity and abundance, but beyond that, Sri Chakra helps us in realizing our journey. It helps us in separating the Maya and align or realize oneness with Mata Lalithambika. Shri Matre Namaha Gurukataksham Ambalanugraham Pari. When it comes to Sri Chakra, there are 9 Avaranas. The 9 Avaranas, which is the journey of the soul's self-realization. At the outermost level, which is at the first Avarana of the Sri Chakra, is the time and space. We are living with limitations of time, limitations of space. It is all about desires, the fears, and all kinds of worldly experiences. We seek happiness through relationships, achievements, positions, recognition, name, fame. And each Avarana of Sri Chakra represents a layer of ignorance that we have to shed, the attachment that we have to shed, the limitations that we have to pass through, and that will help gradually in the soul's transformation journey. So the first Avarana is called as Trilokya Mohana Chakra. Trilokya is 3 worlds and Mohana is illusion. So the world of illusion, the world of Maya, which is represented, where we experience life through our senses. We are here to fulfill our senses and we identify at this level, identify with name, status, with relationship, with position, with achievement and the problems. The happiness is attached to the external circumstances, and most of the time people spend chasing things outside, and that is the reason it is called Trilokya Mohana Chakra, the force that captivates the 3 world. Most people spend their entire life within the first Avarana itself without realizing that they have a great purpose. And this Trilokya Mohana Chakra, the first Avarana, is represented by the square and 3 circles. The square represents the space, the 3 circles represents the time. Moving on to the second Avarana, which is called as Sarvasha Paripuraka Chakra. This is represented by 16 petal lotus. Sarva Asha Paripuraka. It means all kinds of desires are fulfilled. The desire of health, wealth, good relationship, success, name, recognition, peace, security. Now, if you look at it, desire is not wrong, because desire is the force that drives us. And Mata Lalitambika grants many of these desires, helping us through having, learn through experience. But eventually, what happens is the soul is constantly chasing one desire or the other, because when you fulfill one desire, it creates another. So the entire life is spent in chasing desires without realizing there is a deeper purpose waiting for you. So many of them are in this Avarana chasing desires. Moving on to the third Avarana, which is called as Sarva Sankshobhana Chakra. This is represented by 8 petal lotus. Sankshobhana is agitation. There is some kind of stirring that happens. Now, if you are stuck at this Avarana, it is about agitation in the mind. Even after obtaining what you desire, you experience a kind of fear or insecurity, anxiousness, jealousy, frustration, desperation, which is coming from attachment. And many people, even though they achieve everything, they have the external success, they have internal agitation because of fear of losing what they have achieved. So this Avarana teaches that our suffering comes out of attachment, which comes out of circumstances from the reaction that we create. So the true transformation begins when we start focusing on the internal aspect, working on yourself. So this is third Avarana. Moving on to the fourth Avarana, which is Sarva Saubhagyadayaka Chakra, the Avarana of karmic cycles actually. Saubhagya is all kind of auspiciousness. This is the Avarana. When you truly master this Avarana, you will be bestowed with all kinds of auspiciousness. This is represented by 14 triangles. This 14 triangles represents 14 world, and it represents the karmic experiences through which the soul is traveling from birth to birth, from experience to experience. And that's the reason there is, the repeated patterns in it can be in relationship, it can be related to money, and the focus is to learning the lessons. Here you have to realize that life is not random. Everything happening in the life is part of the larger, you know, karmic curriculum that is designed for your evolution. So that is fourth avarana. Moving on to the fifth avarana, which is Sarvartha Sadhaka Chakra. Artha is meaningful. This avarana is to help you realize your true self, leading a meaningful, purposeful life, which is also called as Bahir Dashara. Bahi is outer, Dashara is 10 triangles. So this is represented by outer 10 triangles. It represents the achievements and accomplishment. At this stage, the soul becomes conscious. Instead of chasing desires is in second avarana, right? Where the entire life is focused there. But here, instead of chasing desire, it becomes to seek purpose. The questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is my dharma? I want to contribute something back. So that is the avarana which will help you to live a purposeful, meaningful life. So that is Sarvartha Sadhaka Chakra. Moving on to the sixth avarana, which is Sarva Rakshakara Chakra. This is the avarana of divine protection. This is also called as Antardashara. Anta is inside. So inner 10 triangles is the sixth avarana, which is Sarva Rakshakara Chakra, because this is symbolized by the divine guidance and protection. As the soul matures and grows, the soul begin to experience a, that grace of Amba. There will be life challenges, but you no longer feel alone. You feel there is the hand of Amba which is there taking care of you. The fear is replaced by faith. The anxiety is replaced by trust. And you start realizing that every obstacle is a stepping stone which is guiding towards higher purpose. So that is sixth avarana. Moving on to the seventh avarana, which is called as Sarva Rogahara Chakra, which is the avarana of healing, which is represented by 8 triangles. It removes the deepest diseases because, as per Sri Vidya, the greatest disease is not physical illness but the ignorance. So, forgetting the true nature of the soul, that is the greatest disease. Here, as you enter into the realm after working on the past 6 chakras, at the 7th chakra, you realize, the karmic patterns, the limiting beliefs, the false identities that you are holding are the obstacles from you realizing who you are. So, this is the chakra where you start realizing, you start remembering your true self. So that is Sarva Rogahara Chakra. Moving on to the 8th Avarana, which is Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakra, and this is represented by one triangle. This Siddhi Prada is attainment, accomplishment. Here it is about the alignment within, Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, which is represented by the triad. When you are aligning within, that is where you will be able to attain. It is about spiritual attainment. At this stage, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions become aligned. It becomes the spiritual experience becomes your direct experience. At this stage, you will be achieving the inner mastery. That's the reason it is called Sarva Siddhi Prada, where Ambal begins to reveal Ambal in front of you in your life. So that is Sarva Siddhi Prada. Moving on to the last Avarana, which is the 9th Avarana, which is called Sarvanandamaya Chakra. Anandamaya, Sarvanandamaya, which is absolute bliss. This is represented by a Bindu. the source from which the entire universe emerged. This is the point of nothingness, because from nothing came everything. Everything emerges, and into which everything dissolves as well. There is no fear, there is no desire, there is no separation, there is no suffering. There is just pure consciousness. That's the reason it is absolute bliss. This is where you realize that Ambal, whom you are searching outside, is there within you. She is always there within you. That is the realization. If you want to go deeper into this Sri Chakra activation, you want to learn step by step, and you want to also learn how to do puja to the Sri Chakra, you can enroll into 21 days Sri Chakra activation. I have given a link below this video in the description where you can enroll into this course. This course is for lifetime access. You'll be having lifetime access where you learn the deeper dimensions of Sri Chakra, and this 21 days takes you step by step through the sacred journey of Sri Chakra and its application into your daily life. During these 21 days, you will learn the meaning of 9 Avaranas, the connection between Sri Chakra and your body, the significance of each Avarana, powerful activation, and how to offer puja to Sri Chakra. This is recorded video course with lifetime access where you can learn at your own pace too. So this is a sacred journey of inner awakening. Now coming back to the 9 Avaranas. Actually, these 9 Avaranas are our own inner journey. That when you are trapped in worldly distractions, you are in the first Avarana. When you are chasing desires, you are in the second Avarana. When you are struggling with emotional turbulence, you are in the third Avarana. When you are learning karmic lessons, going through repeated karmic patterns, repeated problems, patterns of problems in your life, you're in the fourth Avarana. If you're discovering your purpose, or you're in fifth Avarana. When you feel divine guidance at every step of your life, you are in sixth Avarana. When deep healing begins, you're in seventh Avarana. When your life transforms into powerful experience, where you're living a purposeful, fulfilling life, you're in the eighth Avarana. When you realize Ambal within you, you're in the ninth Avarana. So Sri Chakra is not just something that you are worshipping, but it is a journey map of understanding yourself, understanding deeper aspect about you. So this is all about the 9 Avaranas of Sri Chakra. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Guru Kataksham, Ambalanagaram Paripurna. Sri Matre Namaha.